Hello, my friends. This is Laura Whitney with Cache Valley Counseling. I'm a marriage and family therapist there. Love my job, love helping people get to know themselves better and figure out how to live life better. So today in this Max Group video, I wanted to kind of talk about what I call a mental health toolbox. Sometimes I'll call it a crisis toolbox, and that kind of depends on which tool we're using. If it's better for a crisis or maybe better for just sort of long-term steady mental health that we're trying to achieve. So I'm just going to read through my list and you can take some notes. Maybe we'll try to get this out to you in a written form in another way. But I'm just going to kind of go through the list that I've created and chat through some stuff. Exercise. I have this first, and it's my least favorite thing to do, but we do know that exercise is so good for us and so good for our mental health. Anything helps. You can take a short walk around the block. You can go up and down your stairs a couple of times. You could even just do a little bit of raising your arms, a little bit of stretching. Anything that just kind of gets the blood moving is helpful for us. Especially in times of really high anxiety or really low depression, you might want to actually try something that's like short bursts of intense exercise, like 20 jumping jacks really fast or 30 seconds of running in place really hard. Really try to just kick that heart rate up and get the blood moving in a different way. What we want to do is just try to shift you out of a crisis state when your body is reacting to a threat that it perceives, and don't beat yourself up if it's not an actual threat. It's an actual threat to you, right? So again, just a quick burst of energy to try to kind of jolt your system out of the place that it's stuck in. Food and drink. Nutrients are really important. We know that. And eat right and exercise, right? Like it always comes down to these basics. But when we're struggling, we want to pay a little bit more attention. So making sure that you're getting the nutrients you need, making sure you're getting protein and a balance of protein, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, right? We need everything. Our bodies are designed to use all of the food groups. Does that mean that you shouldn't go have your hamburger and fries? No, there's protein and carbs in there, right? So being able to go out and have some of the comfort foods that you love, that's important too. Quick things, nuts, dark chocolate, tea, soda, and then some moderation of your favorite treats, the pizza, the ice cream, um, something that makes you feel better emotionally. Yeah, it's okay, especially again in those crisis moments. What we want to do is just realize this is the choice I'm making. Sometimes I'll just sit on the couch and eat the potato chips. But I'm not going to feel guilty about it anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and say, yep, this is okay. This is the choice I'm making right now. You do want to try to avoid the really high stimulants, energy drinks, or depressants like alcohol. So just try to be aware that that helps in the moment of crisis, but also long term. Another little trick I'm going to call name the cognitive distortion. Am I using phrases like always or never in my thoughts? Am I thinking emotionally or logically? Am I distorting my current situation? What are the actual facts that are independent of my emotions? Am I assuming what others are thinking or feeling? Am I assigning motives to other people? So that's just sort of like calling yourself out and be like, okay, what's really happening here? You may not be so good about that in a crisis situation, but trying to just grab onto a couple little points of light, like, okay, what's an actual fact here versus what I'm just telling myself in the moment. Self-care, go get a massage, write in your journal, get a foot rub, take a bubble bath or a long shower, watch a favorite movie or show. Be careful about shows that have emotions, right? It's okay to have some harder emotions in the shows that we watch that can help us to realize what's going on for us. But I know I personally have to check in and be like, am I just sort of letting myself be sad because that's where I am right now? Or have I kind of flipped the pendulum over to a point of wallowing and really kind of like leaning into the worst of my feelings? I have to notice when I'm doing that and try to pull myself out and maybe go to something else that's a little bit more lighter, maybe some comedy, something that makes me feel good about myself and my life. Go get a manicure or a pedicure. So those are the self-care items. Phone a friend. Reach out to somebody that you can trust, that you can count on. Um, it can be a text, it can be a phone call, it can be an email. If you've got someone that you really trust with your hard moments, I would set up a code word. Because when we're in those really, really hard, high stress moments, really high anxiety, really low depression, right? When we're at the extremes of our emotions, these are the hardest things to do. These self-care things, these toolbox things, they're really the hardest thing to do. So if you've got somebody that you can really trust, then I would set up a code word with them or a number or something that all you have to say is 42 or whatever it is that they know I'm struggling and I need some help, and don't make me say anything more about it. Okay. Go to lunch with somebody. Again, in those worst crisis moments, that might be really hard to do. It might not be reasonable to expect of yourself. But if you try to sprinkle some of these things in throughout the rest of your life, it becomes a great toolbox item. Or if you're only moderately struggling, that's a great toolbox item. Just set up to go grab a coffee, grab a snack, grab a lunch, go for a walk with somebody that can help you just kind of like get a different perspective, pull you out of the hard place that you're in. Animals, pets are known to have healing and calming effects on our nervous system. Petting a cat, petting a dog, going out and getting outside in nature with your dog, taking a walk, talking to your fish, petting your hamster. Like there's so many ways that animals can be calming to us, and they are another living being. And so we feel a connection with another living being, another living creature. But this creature doesn't require anything of us, right? We don't have to explain anything to them. So having a pet or an animal, a horse, my goats, there's lots of animal buddies that can help us in our tough times. Go bird watching, go watch a nature show. Maybe you can't have an animal where you are, but maybe you can just find something online, some YouTube videos or a National Geographic show or something, Discovery Channel, and watch nature doing its thing. My sunflowers are blooming right now, which brings in the chickadees and the finches. And I love watching those, but then I also love watching my cat watch them. She just sits on the windowsill and looks out the window and does her little chatter chatter. Um, so I just love watching nature do its thing. It's very calming for me. Sensory stuff can be really important, and this can be more important in the crisis situations, right? So, it's temperature extremes can be good. So go grab some ice cubes and hold them in your hand, or hold an ice bag, drink a cold drink, splash some cold water on your face. A sudden temperature change, kind of like the sudden exercise, like trying to jolt your system out of this place that it's stuck in. Heat, holding onto a heating pad or sitting with a warm blanket. It's kind of interesting to note that if you can just sit with a blanket or a heating pad or something, you're actually sending a signal to your brain that says, oh, we're safe enough to just sit and rest. We're not in a fight or flight situation. So something like that actually gives your body a new signal that maybe we're safer than we think we are. Um, Eating something also does that. If you chew something, drinking not so much, but if you're able to actually chew something, just grab some candy or a granola bar, raisins or nuts or something, just getting the chewing action going also sends your body a signal. Oh, we're safe enough to stop and eat. We're not running for our lives, or playing dead, or trying to fight the bear, right? Oh, we're sitting down to a meal. Okay, then maybe we're safer than I think. Even like chewing gum can work. So engaging that chewing. Go out and sit in the sun for 10 minutes. That has multiple great effects for you. You're getting the vitamin D, you're getting exposure to nature, just getting out of the house. Just let yourself sit out there. And if it's cold, just bundle up in a coat. Just try to get some sunshine on your face. Holding a stuffed animal, something that's kind of comforting that you can hold on to. Grab a fidget toy, something that you can do with your hands. Just different things to get your body doing something a little bit different. Using your senses, listening. How many things can I hear right now? How many things can I see right now? Do I smell anything right now? Do I taste anything right now? Kind of helps pull you out of where your mind is. Sour candy or lemonade. Again, we're just kind of trying to jolt your system. I love those gummy nerd clusters. Those are a great little awesome sour treat, I think. Listening to just some sounds of nature, you can go online and find something anytime, a waterfall, brook, thunderstorm, anything that can kind of help re-regulate your system. Or if you can go sit outside and listen to the wind in the trees, or the birds singing. In my neighborhood out in the country, I can hear horses whinnying, I can hear goats, I can hear birds, I can hear sheep, I can hear donkeys, all kind of within the block, which is really kind of neat to just go sit outside and listen and see what's going on out there. Um, Okay, music. Music is one of my favorite things to use. In the hardest years of my life, I actually had a playlist that I called Breaking Point, and I felt like I was really reaching my breaking point. And it was a combination of songs that I liked the lyrics to. They were uplifting, encouraging, comforting, but also a beat that kind of got my body moving a little bit and got me a little bit more upbeat. Greatest Showman. I love that soundtrack. So that has a combination of beat and some really good messages in there. But you've got to know what resonates with you. Favorite quotes, also again, kind of in the toughest years of my life, I would find quotes that were meaningful to me, and I would write them out or type them out and print them, and then just sort of plaster them all around me on my office walls, on my fridge, just somewhere that even when I was feeling okay, I was getting positive messages. I was getting light and goodness and good things that gave me hope and meaning to life. I would have them just somewhere that my eyes could see them. The mirror in the bathroom, like I would just put them all around that I would, and I still have some, but at the worst time of my life, I had them really everywhere. And just kind of reminding myself that there's good things, there's messages that touch my heart and mind, and again, kind of refocus me. Next item I have on my list kind of coincides with that, words from those who love you. So along with quotes, I would also have cards and letters kind of just posted around my home, and I still do this too, that I can reference again, and then I can remind myself that even if I don't like me, other people like me. If I'm struggling with how I feel about myself, then I'm reminded that I'm a good person because people that I love and trust are telling me that they love me too. And being able to reread those messages has been really, really powerful for me. So cards, letters, saving texts and emails that people send you that touch your heart or make you feel loved and appreciated. Keep those handy. Put them all on a location, screenshot or print out or anything that you can reference them pretty easily when you're struggling. Pictures of favorite places you've been, people that love you, good memories, places you want to go. On my Pinterest board, I have like a um, goals of places that I want to go and see. And it could be a specific building that I want to go see, or a river or something. Or it could be, oh, I just like to go to this country, but it just kind of reminds me there's more things out there for me that I want to experience in my life. Serving people. I found this to be really helpful if I'm struggling to make sure that I'm getting out and helping other people. Gets us out of our own head, out of our own life routine, helps us to see that other people are dealing with things too. And we're not comparing. We're not saying, oh, I'm not allowed to feel bad because other people have it worse. Like that doesn't help us. But being able to say, we're all struggling, and kind of the common theme of humanity is that everyone's going to have struggles in their life. So can we walk next to each other as we're each dealing with our own struggles? And as we get out and help others or serve others, really helps to give us that perspective that we're not so alone in our own troubles. Rest slash sleep is how I coded this next one. And I said, in my notes to myself, all sleep is not restful and all rest is not sleep. So it's really important to be paying attention. Am I trying to sleep right now or am I trying to rest right now? Um, we're finding with studies like scrolling on our phones is actually not very restful for us. It's a numbing, time passing, I don't have the energy to do anything else activity, not really restful for us. So you get to really pay attention to what's restful for your mind and your body. Um, can you lie down and listen to some music or watch a show that feels calming and restful to your body and mind that actually helps recharge your battery? Um, a lot of the times we're just trying to avoid anything else taking energy from our battery, but how do we actually recharge it? And that's going to be different for everybody. So you get to figure out what works for you. Um, Sleeping a healthy amount is about 7 to 9 hours. and more or less will affect your daily functioning. And again, everyone's a little bit unique in this, and you get to figure out what works for you. We know that teenagers need more sleep than adults do, and we know that women need more sleep than men do. But you get to figure out what works for you. And we can get by on shorter amounts for shorter periods of time, but we can't really do that for an extended period of time without really feeling the effects on our mood and our cognitive functioning. We get the brain fog and just don't feel good, right? Napping, I I'm a fan of napping. I actually don't do it a whole lot though, because I have trouble getting to sleep at night. A nap of more than an hour is probably going to make you feel worse. Again, you get to know your own body, but try to keep your naps to 30 minutes or less. I actually tried a power nap a couple of weeks ago, like 15 to 20 minutes. And I was really surprised how much better I felt. And I didn't get into that groggy place that I do if I sleep for more than 45 minutes or so. I actually did feel alert the rest of the day, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Healthy boundaries is my last item in my toolbox here for you. Learning how to kindly end conversations that may be negatively affecting you. I feel like boundaries have been a little bit weaponized sometimes, and so we can set our boundaries, but we can do so kindly and with understanding that it may be hard for the other person, but knowing what's best for us. Set your phone to do not disturb for certain periods of time. If you're trying to sleep, or if you just need a rest, or you need your quiet time to read your book or to sit outside or do something where you're just not getting something demanded of you, again, something drawing out of your battery. Um, Say no when you are at capacity. If you just don't have the time or resources, mentally, physically, emotionally, to do more, it's okay to say no. I love using the analogy of when we get on an airplane and they say, put your own oxygen mask on before helping anybody else. We're no good to anybody else if we are running at our maxed out capacity, right? So that desire that you have to help others is great, but if you're not functioning very well in that place, you're not going to be able to keep going, and you're not actually going to be that much help to other people. So again, kind of know your own battery life, which is drained by social interaction, physical triggers, kind of the bottom level of the Maslow hierarchy of needs, right? Like if we're hungry, we're tired, cold, hot, like our functioning starts to drop because our system is trying to compensate for a physical need. And then knowing the life stress that you have. And stress is kind of in the eye of the beholder, right? We each get to decide what levels of stress we can handle and what kinds of stress we can handle. We all have different capacities. Like I started off saying, like I am not great at the exercising, and I've learned to stop beating myself up for that. Um, but recognize that I have battery levels in other areas that maybe other people don't have as much. And again, the comparing doesn't do us any good. So we get to figure out what our personal battery is and what tools we need in our toolbox to help us um, to be able to function through the many, many demands of life. It is very hard to be alive right now. Constant pinging on us from phones and televisions and all the devices and all the people and all the needs, and getting all the news that we get nonstop, and hurricanes and everything that's going on, right? It's so hard sometimes. So we have to be judges of what's happening for us and how much we can take and when do we need to rest, and kind of balancing the progress and the rest. We want to be moving and growing and going forward, but we also need to rest when we need to. And if your needs are different than the people around you, that's okay. That's just where you are. So those are my toolbox items. I hope some of that is helpful to you, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care.